Harold was 68 years old and had been working quietly at the Route 95 gas station for 12 years. Customers saw him as just the old man who filled their tanks and cleaned their windows. No one had noticed the faded tattoo on his arm until that night when armed robbers took a young mother and her baby hostage, and Harold faced the choice that would change his life forever. Welcome to the Human Tales. Before we begin this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this need to be heard, hit that subscribe button. These stories matter. On Route 95 in the outskirts of Virginia, miles from any major city, stood a lone shell gas station, a place where truckers and late-night travelers stopped, far from the bustling urban centers. Harold Jenkins worked the night shift at this gas station, and he was its quietest employee. Harold was 68 years old, medium height with slightly stooped shoulders, but still maintaining a strong posture. His gray hair was always neatly combed, his face marked with deep lines that had weathered against time and the elements. His eyes were blue but tired, as if they had seen too much, experienced too much. For 12 years, he came to work every evening at 10 p.m. and worked until 6 a.m. Same Navy work uniform, same black work boots, same quiet demeanor. He would tell the customers, "Good evening," fill their tanks, and say, "Thank you, drive safely." That was it. No one had ever asked questions about Harold, where he came from, why he worked at a gas station at his age, why he was always alone. Nobody had ever wondered. And certainly no one thought about why he always wore long sleeves, keeping his arms covered. Harold's past was buried in silence. Whether he was married, had children, was retired, these were unknown things. He was just Harold, the old man who worked at the gas station. That Thursday night was like any other. At 11:30 p.m., Harold was behind the register doing the daily calculations. Outside, Virginia's cold wind was blowing, and the gas station lights illuminated the dark road. In the distance, a car's headlights appeared. An old blue Honda Civic pulled into the gas station area. Harold looked through the window. A young woman in the driver's seat, a baby sleeping in a car seat in the back. The woman looked tired, probably on a long journey. Sarah Martinez was 28 years old, a young mother traveling alone. She and her 2-year-old daughter Emma were on their way to visit her mother in North Carolina. Her husband Mike was a soldier stationed in Germany. Sarah had to make this trip alone. Her fatigue was evident as she got out of the car. Emma was still sleeping in the back seat. As Sarah walked toward the gas pump, Harold also came outside. "Good evening," Harold greeted with a smile. "Shall I fill it up?" "Good evening. Yes, please, full tank." As Sarah took her credit card from her wallet, she added, "My baby is sleeping. Could you do it quietly, please?" Harold nodded. "Of course, ma'am. Long trip." "Yes, we're going to North Carolina. I'm a bit tired." Harold filled the tank while Sarah went inside to get a coffee. Emma was still sleeping. Everything was normal. Everything was calm. Until 3 cars were seen approaching in the distance. Harold was closing the gas cap when his attention turned to the distant cars. 3 black sedans coming very fast and heading towards the gas station. Their movement pattern wasn't normal. Harold's old military experience told him this situation was dangerous. His instincts kicked in. Harold immediately walked towards Sarah. "Ma'am, get in your car and leave here. Now." Sarah was surprised. "What? Why?" "Please, don't ask questions. Go now." But it was too late. 3 cars burst into the gas station area, tire screeches and engine sounds tearing through the night. 6 armed men got out of the cars. Harold immediately pushed Sarah toward the car. "Quick, get your baby!" But one of the gunmen, Marcus Williams, 34 years old, reached Sarah. "Hold on there, sweetheart. "Where are you going?" Sarah screamed. Emma woke up and started crying. "Give us the money, old man!" The second one, Tony Rodriguez, shouted. "We want everything in the register." The third, Jake Patterson, pointed his gun at Harold. "And you don't move a muscle, old-timer." Harold raised his hands, but his eyes were calculating everything. 6 armed men, 3 near Sarah, 3 in front of the register. Distances, angles, escape routes. Old habits were returning. Marcus gripped Sarah's arm tightly. "Give me your purse!" "Your phone, too!" Sarah crying. "Please, I have a baby." "If you just want money, I'll give it, but—" "Shut up!" Tony yelled, and pointed his gun at Emma. That was the moment Harold's transformation began. He remembered 38 years ago. The Grenada operation. The moment during his special mission when he had to protect a civilian family. The decision moment that changed Delta Force Commander Harold Jenkins' life. That day he had saved the family. Today, he would save them too. "Gentlemen," Harold began in a calm voice, "let me give you the money from the register. Don't touch the woman and baby." Jake laughed at Harold. "Who are you, old man? Trying to be a hero or something?" Harold began walking forward step by step. His posture had changed. He was no longer the 68-year-old gas station employee. His body language, his gaze, the way he moved, these belonged to someone else. "No one will be harmed," Harold repeated. "Let me give you the money, then you leave." Marcus gripped Sarah tighter. "This lady's coming with us. She'll fetch good money." Harold stopped. The expression in his eyes changed. Commander Harold Jenkins from 38 years ago was returning. "You will let her go." Now, Jake pressed his gun to Harold's chest. "Who are you? What do you think you are?" Harold looked into Jake's eyes. That look was something else. Jake felt uneasy for a moment. This wasn't just an old man's gaze. "I'm telling you for the last time. Let the woman and child go. Take the money and leave." Marcus started laughing. "This old fool is crazy. Tony, hit this guy in the head so he comes to his senses." Tony approached Harold and tried to hit him with the butt of his gun. Harold's reflex was lightning fast. With his left hand, he controlled Tony's gun. With his right hand, he delivered a hard blow to his chin. Tony passed out and fell to the ground. The movement was so fast that the others couldn't understand what happened. Jake fired his gun, but Harold had already changed position. The bullet disappeared into the air. Harold grabbed Jake's wrist, took the gun from his hand with one movement, and brought Jake down. Marcus panicked and used Sarah as a shield. "Stop! Stoop! I'll kill this woman!" The remaining 3 men stared at Harold in bewilderment. How had this man neutralized their 2 friends so quickly? Harold raised his hands. "Calm down, son. No need to kill anyone." Who are you?" Marcus's voice was trembling. Harold was approaching step by step. "I'm just an old soldier." But Marcus was panicking and squeezing Sarah. "Stay back! Stay back!" Sarah couldn't breathe. Emma was screaming. Harold made his decision at that moment. Sarah's life was in danger. Emma was in danger. As a commander, he had to protect them. With a very quick movement, Harold lunged at Marcus. Marcus turned his gun on Harold and fired. The bullet hit Harold's left shoulder, but he didn't stop. Harold reached Marcus, freed Sarah with one movement, and brought Marcus down. But from behind, the 4th man, Kevin, emptied his gun into Harold's back. Harold staggered, but tried to stay on his feet. The 2nd bullet hit his chest, the 3rd his stomach. He fell to the ground, but Sarah and Emma were safe. The remaining 3 robbers ran to their cars in panic and fled. Sarah immediately grabbed her phone and called 911. "Emergency! Armed robbery at gas station. A man has been shot. Send an ambulance immediately." Harold was lying on the ground covered in blood, but he was conscious. Sarah ran to his side. Sir, hold on. The ambulance is coming." Harold was breathing with difficulty. Is the baby okay? She's fine, you saved them. Who are you? Harold tried to smile. I'm just Harold. 15 minutes later, the ambulance and police arrived. The paramedics immediately put Harold on a stretcher. He had lost a lot of blood. Harold was unconscious on the way to the hospital. In the emergency room, Dr. Jennifer Walsh took Harold into surgery. His wounds were very serious. 3 gunshot wounds in the shoulder, chest, and abdomen. During surgery, Dr. Walsh noticed the tattoo on Harold's left arm, faded but still visible. Delta Force's special insignia. Below it the inscription, De Oppresso Liber, to free the oppressed. Dr. Walsh was surprised. This tattoo was a special mark that only Delta Force's most elite commanders possessed. She checked Harold's medical records. The file said, Harold Jenkins, 68 years old, retired, gas station employee, but there was no information about his military background. The surgery lasted 6 hours. Harold was in critical condition but clinging to life. Sarah was waiting at the hospital. Emma was sleeping in her arms. A police officer had taken Sarah's statement. This man saved your life. He fought 6 armed men alone. When Dr. Walsh came out of surgery, she approached Sarah. His condition is critical but stable. If we're lucky, he'll make it. Doctor, who is this man? How could he fight 6 armed men alone, Dr. Walsh thought. Based on the tattoo on his arm, he served in a very special military unit, Delta Force. This unit only takes the most elite soldiers. Sarah was amazed. But he was just an old man working at a gas station. Apparently, he was much more than that. 2 days later, Harold regained consciousness. Sarah was beside him. How do you feel? Sarah asked. Harold spoke with difficulty. Emma, where is she? Safe. You saved her. Both of us. Harold smiled. Good. Good. Harold, who are you really? The doctor mentioned the tattoo on your arm. Harold was silent for a long time. Then he took a deep breath. A long time ago. I had a different life. Were you in Delta Force? Yes. 22 years. I was a commander. Sarah couldn't hide her amazement. So why are you working at a gas station? Harold's eyes clouded. Because sometimes a man has to leave his past behind. What do you mean? On my last mission, I lost 4 men from my team, all because of my decisions. From that day on, I stopped fighting. Sarah put her hand on Harold's. But last night, you fought. For us. Because you and Emma, you're innocent. I always fought to protect the innocent. Do you have family? Harold smiled bitterly. I did. My wife Janet, my daughter Lisa. But military life drove them away from me. I lost them too, 12 years ago. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Do you miss them? Every day. But sometimes a man finds a new family. You and Emma, you became my new family. Reporters had gathered in the hospital corridor. Harold's story had made the local news. Retired Delta Force commander saves family at gas station. But Harold didn't want to talk to the media. I just did what was right, he had said. 3 weeks later, Harold was discharged from the hospital. Sarah took him home. Harold lived in a small trailer, alone but orderly. Harold, Sarah asked as she stood at the door, will you go back to the gas station? Harold stopped, thought, I don't know. Maybe it's time to do something different. Like what? Maybe I can help other veterans. Those getting PTSD treatment. Those who feel lost. Sarah smiled. That's a wonderful idea. And Harold? Yes? When Emma grows up, I'll tell her about her grandfather. About a hero who saved her. Harold's eyes filled with tears. I'm not a hero, Sarah. I'm just an old man trying to do what's right. 6 months later, Harold opened a small veteran support center in Virginia. It was called Second Chance Home. He helped veterans receiving PTSD treatment, those who felt they had lost their lives. Sarah and Emma visited him every week. Emma called him Grandpa Harold. For the first time in his life, Harold had a real sense of family. That night at the gas station hadn't just saved Sarah and Emma, it had saved Harold Jenkins, too. The man who had been running from his past for 12 years was reconnected to life. Harold now had a purpose when he woke up in the mornings: to help veterans, to give them a second chance, just like Sarah and Emma had given him. And every evening when Emma said, "Good night, Grandpa Harold," it was worth more to him than all the medals. Because real heroism sometimes doesn't come with a uniform. Sometimes it comes with a gas station uniform. And real victory is sometimes not defeating the enemy, but making peace with your own past. Harold Jenkins continued to protect the innocent, but this time, including himself. Did this story touch you? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the Human Tales, because real heroes' stories deserve to be told. See you in the next video.